Police Service to probe the former Attorney General, Godfred Yeboah-Dame. Also in this bulletin, eco-conscious citizens welcome government's plan to declare the forest reserves and water bodies as security zones, but says the move has come a little too late.
If they're not going to declare security zones, that's good news. But we want less of the talk and to hear that they have been declared security zones.
Much later in this bulletin, Small Scale Miners Association stresses distinction between least licensed operators and illegal miners destroying rivers and forest reserves. We have details of these and other stories. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Now to the details. Businessman Richard Jakpa has petitioned the Criminal Investigation Department of the Ghana Police Service to probe former Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame. In his petition dated July 23, 2025, Mr. Jakpa alleges that the former Attorney General tried to get him to give false evidence in the ongoing ambulance procurement trial involving the then minority leader, Dr. Kasiul Atuforsen. He claims Mr. Dame called him in March last year, urging him to testify in a way that would incriminate Dr. Forsen, and even alleged and suggested that he procure a false medical excuse to delay court proceedings. Now, according to Jakpa, these attempts were dishonest and criminal. He says he is prepared to present evidence, including recordings, to back his claim, and is asking the police to investigate the matter. The ambulance case, officially titled The Republic versus Dr. Kasiul Atuforsen and two others, have been attracted huge public interest, and with the latest petition raising fresh questions about the conduct of the state of the former chief legislative officer. We'll bring you updates on that in our subsequent bulletin. But now to some environmental stories. Eco-conscious citizen has welcomed the government's plan to declare forest reserves and water bodies as security zones, but say the move has come too late. The coordinator for eco-conscious citizens, Aula Sawa, says the move should have been made much earlier, considering the urgency of the situation.
Current Land Minister was in position. He did ask for a state of emergency. A lot of NDC stalwarts were asking the past administration to declare a state of emergency because of the urgency, the catastrophe that we are facing. The current administration has been in authority for 9 months, and we are now going to declare the forest reserves, the water bodies, security zone. It's a welcome step. But the concern is that it has taken us 9 months to do this. In opposition, we could see the problem very clearly. We were asking the past government to declare a state of emergency. And by that, we make a targeted one for the river bodies, the forest reserves, and the farmlands. If they're not going to declare security zones, that's good news. But we want less of the talk and to hear that they have been declared security zones. And we want to see that the forest reserves are actually in all areas. We want to see that all the resources at our disposal are being used to remove the environmental terrorists and their equipment from the forest reserves, from the transfers from the water bodies, and our farmlands are being cleared. And we don't even want to be hearing the word galamsey. It's pure criminality.
That was the coordinator for eco-conscious citizens, Abula Sewa. However, security analyst Victor Doke warns that the plan raises tough questions about logistics, resources, and sustainability.
When you say an area is going to be declared a security zone, it means you are looking at the aspect of moving personnel, logistics, and then operational equipment, and then enabling that area to be operationally capable of dealing with any kind of threat. So let's look at the number of water bodies that we have, and then the definition that I've given. If it is a viable option, is it going to be doable? Are they going to achieve this objective? That's what we need to look at. If not, what can we do? What needs to big plan because you are talking about a lot of funding, a lot of resources that is going to go into this. And my understanding of the security zone, personnel that are going to be stationed at that area for how long?
Security analyst Victor Doke there. Now, still on illegal mining, the National Association of Small-Scale Miners has stressed the need to distinguish between licensed small-scale miners and illegal miners. The association explains that while small-scale mining is recognized by the Constitution and regulated through licensing, illegal miners operate in prohibited areas such as forest reserves and water bodies. Let's take a listen to the president of the National Association of Small-Scale Miners, Michael Kwejo Prempeh.
There is a distinction between a small-scale miner and somebody who is engaging in illegal mining. Somebody who is mining or dredging our various water bodies is an illegal miner. Secondly, the law does not permit small-scale mining to be done in the various forest reserves. So anybody who is found in the forest reserves, being it Ghanaian or Chinese, is engaging in illegal mining. So there is a distinction. There is a distinction between somebody who have gone through the rigorous processes to acquire his or her license to mine responsibly. So at least I just want you to understand that we have people who are mining in a sustainable manner, and we have people who are mining in a responsible manner.
That was the president of the National Association of Small-Scale Miners, Michael Kwejo Prempeh. Now, moving on, the Majority Chief Whip, a member of Parliament for South Dai Roxon, Nelson Dafiamepo, and two others have filed a writ at the Supreme Court challenging the exclusive recognition of the Ghana Bar Association in Ghana's legal and constitutional framework. The plaintiffs say the current GBA, which operates as a private voluntary association, should not be treated as sole representative of lawyers in the country. They are seeking 7 key declarations, including a call for the court to interpret references to the Ghana Bar Association in the Constitution and legal professional acts as generic or umbrella terms, rather than referring exclusively to the current GBA. They further argue that granting such exclusive status to one private group violates constitutional rights to equality and freedom of association as guaranteed under the Articles 17 and 21 Clause E of the 1992 Constitution. Now, to some agriculture stories, the Chief Executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana, Anthony Morrison, has commended the government and the Buffer Stock Association initiative for responding swiftly to the challenges facing the maize and rice farmers. This follows a government directive to the National Buffer Stock Company to buy surplus grains from farmers across the country, following projections of a bumper harvest this year. The Chief Executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness says while farmers have received some attention, more support is needed for the processors, pork and aquaculture farmers, and industries that depend heavily on maize and rice for production.
Let me commend government and Buffer Stock for the prompt attention that they have paid to the challenges facing maize farmers and rice farmers in the country. However, I would like to also add that there is a need for a lot of engagement with the industry. It shouldn't only end at the farmers level, but we need a broad-based consultation where we engage the banks. We also need to engage the processors in order to have a very good guarantee system in place for them to be able to understand that they have the raw materials for them to mill the paddy rice, especially the rice, and also the whole process where we also require a lot of maize for the government agenda for the frequency security, the livestock, profit production and all. So this is a very good response to the industry, but I want to urge the government to do more for farmers and processors most especially poultry farmers, aquaculture farmers.
Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana, Anthony Morrison there. I am Enyonam Haligah. Michael Obodu is coming your way with business.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to the business news on Sunrise. Coming up, economist Joe Jackson describes Ghana's unemployment as a generational time bomb.
You look at unemployment for the ages of between 15 to 24 who are not in school, who are looking for employment, and you find that 32% of them cannot get jobs.
And new Ghana Statistical Service survey reveals the country's tourism sector generates 15.4 billion cedis.
Hotels were the most popular accommodation, and the top destinations included Independence Square, the Arts Center, Cape Coast Castle, and the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park.
Plus, Financial Economist describes recent policy rate cut as a step in the right direction amid economic recovery.
So we expected that by this time, we should be talking about a policy rate which is below 20%.
I am Michael Obodu. Details of these and many other stories coming up shortly. Please don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for your time. Straight into our top story. Financial economist and CEO of Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, has raised alarm over Ghana's unemployment situation, describing it as a generational time bomb. Jackson's comments come in response to the latest unemployment report from the Ghana Statistical Service, which put the overall unemployment rate at 13.1% as of December 2024. This shows that for every 100 people of employable age who want a job, 13 of them are unemployed. While the headline figure of 13.1% might not seem excessively high to some, Jackson argues that the real risk lies in what the number conceals.
For the men, it's 11 out of 100 who don't have jobs. But for the women, it's 15 out of 100 who don't have jobs. That should first of all be of concern. Our women are not getting employed. Is when you look at unemployment for the ages of between 15 to 24 who are not in school, who are looking for employment, and you find that 32% of them cannot get jobs. Almost 1/3 of that age group cannot get jobs. Those who have left JSS who want a job, 1/3 of them can't get a job. Those who have left SSS that want a job, 1/3 of them can't get a job. Those who have left university and want a job, 1/3 of them can't get jobs. That's a whole generation that are not getting jobs when they need to, and when they want to, and when their energies are high. Are we then surprised that crime seems to be exploding and younger and younger kids are looking for quick money?
Financial expert and CEO of Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, speaking there. In a major boost to Ghana's tourism sector, new data from the Ghana Statistical Service shows international visitors spent over 15 billion cedis in the country in a single year. The report, released just ahead of the World Tourism Day on September 27, provides a comprehensive look at the economic power of tourism.
The survey, which covered the last quarter of 2022 to the third quarter of 2023, found that more than 901,000 international visitors came to Ghana. The vast majority, 888,584, translating to 98.6%, were overnight guests, and it's their spending that drove the huge economic value. Launching the report, government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu emphasized the importance of the findings.
West Africans and Americans showed strong interest in our tourist sites. Hotels were the most popular accommodation, and the top destinations included Independence Square, the Arts Center, Cape Coast Castle, and the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. Together, overnight visitors spent 15.2 billion Ghana cedis, highlighting tourism's enormous economic impact.
The report indicated that same-day visitors were 12,864.
Nearly three-quarters of them traveled by air. Collectively, same-day visitors spent 24 million Ghana cedis, providing a boost to local businesses. And their favorite attractions included the Bisa Abriwa Museum, Cape Coast Castle, the National Museum, and the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park.
The data also shows that overnight visitors were mostly adults, aged 36 to 64, with the main reason of their trip being to visit friends and relatives. The report's recommendations include promoting short-stay tourism and enhancing the visitor experience with modern facilities. It's a clear roadmap to help Ghana's tourism sector reach its full potential.
And that was the 3 Business report. Now, financial economist Dr. Eric Boakye-Adom has stated that the recent policy rate cut by the Bank of Ghana signals progress resulting from the central bank's interventions. He noted that the move is a positive indicator that monetary policies are beginning to yield desired results, contributing to a more stable economic environment. However, Dr. Boakye-Adom expressed that he had anticipated a more significant reduction. He had hoped for a bolder move that would have brought the policy rate below 20%.
The policy rate cut by the BOG is what some of us have been calling for some time now. And I think the Bank of Ghana has done the right thing in bringing the rate down. Although we expected that by this time, we should be talking about a policy rate which is below 20%. The policies that have been put in place by the BOG to tighten FX, I think it should be well enforced. And the BOG should ensure that it doesn't just remain a policy, but it's enforced at the various FX to ensure that we do not have an imported inflation which will come back to hurt us in the long run. Expect that the policy rate cut will not stay at the top there, but it will trickle down to the ordinary borrower. There should be a continuous engagement between the BOG and the bankers or the Ghana Banking Association to ensure that banks are also able to assess their risk to reduce their lending rates to their customers.
Financial economist Dr. Eric Boakye-Adom speaking there. Now, the German Development Corporation, in partnership with the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, has successfully completed the African SME Network for Exchange and Trade project, a crucial initiative aimed at boosting Ghana's small and medium-sized enterprises. This project, operated under the brand Invest for Jobs and funded by the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, has made significant strides in addressing the substantial financing and technical gap faced by SMEs in sub-Saharan Africa.
Bridging the financial and knowledge gaps, SMEs in Ghana face a financial deficit of approximately $4.8 billion, a key barrier to growth. The African SME Network for Exchange and Trade (AFNEXT) project, funded by the German government and implemented by GIZ and AGI, directly tackled this by facilitating and co-financing the procurement of more than 200 pieces of machinery and equipment for 57 beneficiary SMEs. Head of Ghanaian SME component at Invest for Jobs at GIZ, Eunice Ejewa Ejapong, observed that investment is not just about new machines.
Most SMEs would want to expand, however, they do not have the needed equipment as well as the technical know-how to do so. And so through this project, we decided to support the SMEs so then they are able to upgrade or expand their businesses. They are able to scale up, increase their productivity, and then be able to create more decent jobs.
Director of Finance and Administration at AGI, Nathaniel Kwakupong, noted the support was tailored to the specific needs of each enterprise.
And the project was also structured in such a way that AGI actually assumed the role of ownership of the project, such that any time equipment are to be purchased, it has to go through AGI, where AGI owns the project and then in turn gives to the SME beneficiaries.
The combined approach of financial assistance, capacity building and international exposure is projected to accelerate business growth and create more than 300 decent jobs.
That was a report on the German-Ghanaian partnership boost to SME growth. We turn our attention now to the currency and the commodities market.
On the interbank foreign exchange markets, the dollar is selling at 12 cedis 31 pence worse. It's gained 2 pence worse. The British pound is selling at 16 cedis 55 pence worse. It lost a pence worse. The euro is selling at 14 cedis 44 pence worse. It recorded no price change. However, be guided that these figures could be higher at the Forex Bureau near you. On the global commodities market, Brent crude is trading at $69.11 per barrel. Gold is trading at $3,736 per ounce, down by 27 cents. Cocoa is trading at $7,048 per ton, up by $56.
Those were updates from a currency and the commodities market, bringing an end to the business news and sunrise. For more business stories, please visit our website at 3news.com/business. I am Michael Obodu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe.